Welcome to Tagalong. My name is Beth, and if you're looking for ideas, tips, or tricks to make your upcoming travels as memorable as possible, then you're in the right place. On my family's recent trip to Japan, this was the one stop that I was most excited about. And apart from our overseas flights, the first tickets that we booked. Now, I am a lifelong Mickey fan, so I was eager to see how Tokyo Disneyland compared to the one back home, as well as experience the one-of-a-kind DisneySea. And I thought that you might like to tag along. Tokyo Disneyland, located on the southeastern side of Tokyo, opened on April 15, 1983. The first Disney park to be built outside the US. Having started our visit to Tokyo on the west side of town, we crossed to the east side via train. Our first glimpse of Tokyo Disney was from there. And there's the castle. But first, we had to take a short cab ride to our hotel. The Disney Celebration Hotel Wish, which we had booked online several months before because they do sell out. Everything was decorated in Disney, from the seating and the displays in the lobby, to the elevators and the hallways. It was immersive and I loved it. And inside the room was just as magical, with its colorful carpets on the floor and familiar figures on the walls. Now, I booked the ocean view, so ours even had a balcony overlooking the nearby Tokyo Bay. After unpacking, we boarded a shuttle bus for Tokyo Disneyland. Owned by the Oriental Land Company, Tokyo Disneyland and its sister park, Tokyo DisneySea, are the only Disney parks in the world not owned and operated by the Walt Disney Company. Tokyo Disneyland was modeled after the original Disneyland in Anaheim, California, with many of the same rides, but with a Cinderella castle, like the one in Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. For this park, we bought weeknight passes, good from 5 to 9 p.m., so we headed straight to one of its most popular rides. One that you can't experience anywhere else, the Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast. It was well worth the 2-hour wait, with a queue that creatively sent us around the castle grounds, over a bridge, through a courtyard, and finally into the castle itself. There was something fun to see around every corner. Some familiar faces, recognizable places, and dark spaces, all on our way to the main foyer. Belle was so lifelike. And the way the beast moved was alarmingly real. After a diorama with sheets, and another with shadows, we made our way through the kitchen and boarded teacups for a trackless ride in, around, and through scenes and songs, the vehicle at times simulating camera movements from the film. Sorry, but we put our cameras down to enjoy this part. We exited this breathtaking attraction through a cave, and since the sun had set while we were inside, we were met with stunning lights on the castle at night. After walking through a nearby provincial village, my daughter and I went to see the Dreamlights Electrical Parade. The cast members had us all sit down to watch. It included more than 20 floats, all covered with millions of LED lights, featuring Captain Hook, my daughter's favorite, Peter Pan and Wendy, Mr. Potato Head, along with the cast of Toy Story, the larger-than-life genie from Aladdin, and my favorite, Rapunzel from Tangled, with her tower. Meanwhile, my husband and son ventured over to Star Tours in Tomorrowland to take advantage of the shorter lines. They practically walked right onto the ride. Then they jumped in line for the Monsters, Inc. Ride and Go Seek attraction. Unlike the Monsters, Inc. ride at Disneyland in California, here guests aim flashlights to activate special items and characters. We made the most of our evening tickets, fitting in some shopping and making some unforgettable memories. Thankfully, guests were very open to snapping pictures for each other. After a good night's sleep, we enjoyed a full day at DisneySea, which first opened on September 4th, 2001, right next to Tokyo Disneyland. The gates opened at 9 a.m., but when you are staying at a Disney Resort hotel, they let you in up to an hour earlier. The race was on. First, we picked up some new friends, Duffy and Shelly Mae, the Disney Bears, who are insanely popular in Japan. In fact, there are several stores dedicated to them and their outfits, and photo spots created just for them. Then we headed straight to Soaring Fantastic Flight, one of the park's most popular rides before the line got too long. The queue was an art museum about aviation. This ride was very much like the Soaring ride in the US. Thankfully, we only waited for about an hour. Next, we made our way to Mysterious Island to ride Journey to the Center of the Earth, located under Mount Prometheus. The bears had fun in the line queue. We waited for about an hour, and the ride, based on the Jules Verne book, was fast and unique, but sadly brief and anticlimactic. Then it was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, only not the old one. The reimagined version, which seats 6 passengers. They are completely dry because, strangely, they don't actually go underwater. But they do a great job fooling your senses into thinking they do. I started taking pictures of the kids to distract myself from the feeling of being trapped underwater in a small space. To continue minimizing wait times on popular rides, we headed straight to the Lost River Delta by way of the Mermaid Lagoon. Indiana Jones kept the adrenaline pumping. It was similar to the one at Disneyland California, only tailored to the 4th film in the series. In a word, the queue was creepy. The vehicle was like the original. I'm just not sure why they put my husband in the driver's seat. Afterward, it was nice to rest for a moment before exploring Mermaid Lagoon. There's a lot of walking in these parks, but my daughter found her second wind, and we went inside. They did an amazing job with Ariel's Grotto. It was almost unreal, making you feel like you were under the sea, in part of her world. Ariel has always been one of my favorites, so it was fun being able to see and touch so many of these trinkets and treasures. And of course, we had to compete in the Blowfish balloon race. Even though this is labeled as a kids area, it was the attraction I enjoyed most at DisneySea. After resurfacing, we crossed a bridge to the Arabian coast and joined Sindbad and his sidekick Chandu on a Storybook voyage. It was very cute and relaxing. To see the rest of DisneySea, we went around the Lost River Delta and quickly passed through Port Discovery. On our way to sea, the Cape Cod Lighthouse and Harbor on the American waterfront, which continued into New York with the Tower of Terror ride and the SS Columbia restaurant off in the distance. Next, we made our way to Lido Isle in the Mediterranean harbor for a live show in the lagoon. Everyone was singing along. Some were dancing. And our new bear friends, Duffy and Shelly Mae, joined in the fun. Inspired, we boarded one of the park's transit steamliners for a tour of DisneySea by sea. From the Mediterranean harbor, we crossed into the American waterfront. Tokyo Bay is just beyond that wall, by the way. Then we cruised by the Cape Cod Harbor and Lighthouse, and passed by Port Discovery into the Lost River Delta. Next, we breezed by the Arabian coast and into Mermaid Lagoon, unique from every angle. Then we got a closer look at that submarine in the middle of Mysterious Island, and finally slipped by the three-mast ship back into the Mediterranean harbor. We couldn't resist taking a quick family photo in front of Mount Prometheus, the iconic center of DisneySea. After nightfall, wind, and rainfall, we explored Story Mania in our festive Disney ponchos. The ride is the same as the ones in America, and our new friends fit right in. But somehow, my daughter beat me. Lastly, we witnessed Believe, Sea of Dreams in the Mediterranean harbor. There were live singers, screams, and explosions, boats, moving sets, dancers, and fountains. This was easily the best live Disney show that I've ever seen.
We hope that you have enjoyed your stay. Good night, and have a safe journey home.
The next morning, we checked out before the required 11 a.m. and lugged our suitcases to the corner bus stop. We got to ride in a limousine, or what's called a limousine in Japan anyway. Duffy enjoyed the hour ride to the Tokyo Narita Airport, where we took a different bus onto the tarmac to board the flight for our next adventure. But that's another story. We hope you enjoyed traveling with us, that you'll take a moment to give this video a thumbs up, and go ahead and subscribe. You won't want to miss future trips where you can tag along. For those of you who have already visited Tokyo Disney Resort, let us know what you liked most in the comment section below. And for those of you who haven't yet, let us know what most interested you in this video. And see the link to the official park website in the description below. Until next time, this is Beth, encouraging you to have an adventure all your own.